Alright, today I'll be talking to you about the 4 assumptions regarding deterrence for juveniles on page 90 of my textbook. The first assumption involves that individuals are rational actors, which basically means that the juveniles, they basically think like adults. They can weigh the consequences, they can weigh the benefits of committing this type of delinquency or crime. They basically have a rational choice, and sometimes they choose the wrong choice and they get in trouble with the law because they commit a crime or delinquency. By that, it would mean like a young boy weighs the consequences and the benefits of stealing his neighbor's bike. You know, he could sell it for a price, get some money off of it, or he could not do it and not get the money off of it. And sometimes kids they want that money, so they're going to steal that bike and they're going to sell it and make that money. So they weigh those risks and they weigh the rewards, and sometimes it doesn't work out for them. The second assumption revolves around juveniles being aware of the penalty for particular crimes they commit, which basically means they have a basic knowledge of the law and which crimes if they do commit, they know what the punishment's going to be. Like a young girl, she in class, she goes over that stealing from the grocery store is wrong and she could face probation hours, and she decides that it's not good. She doesn't want to spend her weekends doing probation, doing the community service. So having that basic knowledge of what will happen if they commit that delinquency or that crime is crucial for juveniles to basically stay out of trouble. The third assumption is that juveniles view the risk of delinquency as unpleasant, which basically I already talked about. And the second one is that they need to know that the punishment that they will usually receive from the courts, is going to be very unpleasant for them. They're going to have to spend lots of time away from things they like to do, like if they like to hang out with their friends or play video games or play sports or whatever. And they commit a crime like stealing, or they run away, they ditch school or something like that. They're going to have to pay that price, that consequence, and if they don't think it's unpleasant, then they're going to commit that crime and that delinquency more so often if the consequence is very laid back instead of being very up there to deter the juveniles away from committing that crime. The fourth assumption is that the sanctions need to be swift, certain, and severe, which basically is the adult version of the punishments need to be within a timely matter. You don't want to wait 10 years to be sentenced for the crime they committed. It needs to be to the punishment that they committed. If they committed a certain crime, there has to be a crime that outweighs that. The punishment has to outweigh that crime. So if they, again, robbing somebody, burglarizing a store, they have to get sometimes prison time to better deter them away from doing that if, they get out into society again. For example, the punishment needs to happen in a timely manner. Like I already said, it's certain for the offender and it's severe enough for the offender for the crime committed. Like I already said, if the crime is severe, like they murdered somebody, they sexually assaulted somebody, then prison time needs to be introduced to them so they know what they did wrong. For the last one, I do believe deterrence is effective for juveniles, but I think there still needs work that needs to happen in the system. For repeat offenders, I think more prison time and jail time needs to be applied for those juveniles to better understand why that what they are doing is wrong and they need to change their behavior. I also think that deterrence has its limits. Deterrence sometimes doesn't deter juveniles, and juveniles are still going to commit delinquency in those crimes.